Reasons why you should make these Nutella cake balls. Number 1, they're perfect for beginners because they don't require a lot of equipment, and you can do this by hand or you can use a food processor. You can also make these in advance. They only have 4 ingredients and they are perfect as an alternative to cupcakes, and they look pretty good too. I'm making these in a food processor because it's really quick if you do that, but you can use just a large bowl. It'll take you a little bit longer though, but if you don't have a food processor, you can do this part by hand. In this recipe, I'm using 120 grams of Nutella, which is about 1/3 of a jar. So then what you do is you mix and you assess the kind of cake that you're using, and how dry it is really going to impact how much Nutella you need. So start with 120 grams and then go with about an extra tablespoon each time until you get the texture that you're looking for. If you add quite a lot, it's going to be more of a truffle texture and it's going to be really soft, but I prefer a more cakey texture, so I don't add as much, and it's completely up to you. If you add too much Nutella, pop it in the fridge until it's cool. You'll find it much easier to handle. So you need to press the mix together in your hands, and don't worry about getting them perfectly smooth because that just isn't important. They're still going to look great. You pop them in the fridge for about 45 to 50 minutes, or in the freezer for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then you're ready to move on to the next stage. When I showed you the nuts earlier, I had them in my air fryer pan and I had a paper liner, but don't do that. I switched to a silicone liner just because that's much safer for something like nuts. But you don't need to toast them anyway, and if you don't want to use nuts at all, you could use sprinkles or something else. But chop the nuts up and put them in a bowl and pop them to one side while you work on your chocolate. Don't be tempted to put your chocolate in the microwave for a minute on high. You will burn the chocolate that way. What you want to do is microwave your chocolate at intervals. So I start at 30 seconds and then I'm doing intervals for about 10 or 15 seconds until it's melted. I did add a little bit of coconut oil here, but that's completely optional. But it does mean that the chocolate is just a bit smoother. It just glides a little bit better when you're dipping it, but you don't need to do that. And also I'm using milk chocolate here, but you could use any kind that you like. Here are my tips for dipping the balls in chocolate and how best to get a great result. Number 1, you need to line the plate with some sort of non-stick or grease-proof paper, because if you put the chocolate directly onto a plate, you're going to have difficulty removing it later, so I don't recommend that. Line your plate. Number 2, I use cocktail sticks because I just find it so much easier than using a fork, but you could use maybe a skewer. I just find it easier to work with. Number 3, if the chocolate cools down, don't be afraid to just pop it back in the microwave for 10 seconds, stir it and use it up. Number 4, that chocolate is going to cool down because the balls have come out of the fridge or the freezer, they are going to be cool, and so the warm chocolate is hitting that and it's going to cool pretty quickly. So once you've put it down onto your lined plate, add whatever toppings you're going to add straight away before that chocolate has completely set up. And that's it. You should have a beautiful plate of cake balls. I really hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. I have been gone for a little bit. Well, I say a little bit. I've been gone for about 3 years, but I'm back now and I'm going to keep making videos on a regular basis. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.